Every morning at exactly 7:15, Daniel locked the door of his small apartment and stepped into the hallway with his 5-year-old daughter, Lily. The hallway always smelled faintly of fresh coffee and lavender detergent. It was the kind of quiet apartment building where everyone minded their own business. And for 7 months, Daniel had done exactly that, especially when it came to her. Across the hallway lived a woman named Emma. She had moved in the previous winter during a snowstorm. Daniel remembered that night clearly because Lily had pressed her face against the window and whispered, "Daddy, a princess is moving in next door." Daniel had looked outside and seen Emma struggling to carry 2 suitcases through the snow. Her cheeks were red from the cold, her hair messy from the wind, and she had laughed when the landlord dropped a box full of kitchen utensils in the snow. Most men would have rushed out to help. Daniel didn't. He simply closed the curtain. Not because he was rude, because he had learned something the hard way. Getting involved always made things complicated. A routine built on distance. 7 months passed, and during those 7 months, Emma tried to be friendly. First, it was simple things. "Good morning," she would say when they crossed paths in the hallway. Daniel would nod politely. "Morning," nothing more. Another time she held the elevator for him and Lily. "You're the quiet neighbor," she teased with a smile. Daniel simply pressed the button for the ground floor. Lily, however, had no such filter. "She's pretty," Lily whispered loudly. Emma laughed. Daniel looked straight ahead. After that, Emma tried small conversations. "How old is your daughter?" 5. "Do you guys live here long?" 2 years. Short answers. Closed doors. Eventually, Emma stopped trying. But she never stopped smiling when she saw Lily. The secret reason. Daniel wasn't ignoring Emma because he disliked her. In fact, he had noticed everything about her. He noticed the way she hummed softly when unlocking her door. The way she always carried too many grocery bags. The way she wore oversized sweaters that made her look smaller than she actually was. And the way Lily always looked excited whenever Emma was around. But Daniel also noticed something else. Emma was young, carefree, the type of woman who still believed life was full of possibilities. Daniel wasn't that person anymore. He was a single father working 2 jobs. His life revolved around daycare payments, late-night laundry, and making sure Lily had a better childhood than he did. Romance? That belonged to another version of his life. A version that ended 5 years ago when Lily's mother walked out the door and never came back. Since then, Daniel had made a rule. No dating. No distractions. No emotional risks. Just Lily. And survival. The moment everything almost changed. One evening in early spring, Daniel returned home late from work. He was exhausted. The kind of exhaustion that settles deep into your bones. Lily was half asleep on his shoulder as he unlocked their apartment door. Suddenly, a voice behind him said, "Rough day." Daniel turned. Emma was standing in the hallway holding a bag of groceries. Her hair was tied in a loose bun, and a small smudge of flour rested on her cheek. He realized she had probably been baking. Daniel nodded. "Long shift." Lily lifted her head slightly. "Y Emma?" Emma smiled warmly. "Y sloppy girl." Then she looked at Daniel again. "I baked too many cookies. Do you want some?" For a split second, Daniel almost said yes. It would have been easy. Take the cookies. Say thank you. Maybe talk for a minute. Maybe laugh. Maybe feel something other than exhaustion. But then the familiar voice in his head returned. "Don't start something you can't finish." Daniel shook his head politely. "No thanks." Emma tried to hide the disappointment. "Okay." Daniel went inside and closed the door. From the other side, Lily asked softly, "Daddy, why don't you like Emma?" Daniel paused. "It's not that I don't like her. Then why are you always serious around her? Daniel didn't have an answer. Emma's theory. 2 weeks later, Emma was sitting on the apartment staircase with her friend Sophia. Sophia had come over for wine and gossip. Emma pointed toward Daniel's door. That's him. Sophia raised an eyebrow. The mysterious neighbor? Emma sighed. 7 months. 7 months what? 7 months and he still barely talks to me. Sophia laughed. Maybe he's shy. Emma shook her head. No. It's something else. What? Emma stared thoughtfully at the door across the hallway. He's protecting himself. Sophia smirked. You sound very confident. Emma shrugged. I watch people for a living. Emma worked as a child psychologist. She understood behavior patterns better than most people. And Daniel's behavior fascinated her. He's kind, Emma continued. How do you know? He always makes sure Lily walks on the inside of the sidewalk, away from traffic. Sophia blinked. You noticed that? I notice everything. Sophia leaned closer. So what's the plan? Emma smiled slightly. I'm not chasing him. Then, Emma lifted her wine glass. I'm waiting. The coffee invitation. 7 months after Emma moved in, something unexpected happened. Daniel overslept. His alarm had died during the night. He rushed into the hallway while trying to zip Lily's jacket. They almost collided with Emma. Whoa! She laughed. Daniel looked embarrassed. Sorry. You look like you're running from a fire. I'm late. Emma looked at Lily. School? Daycare, Daniel said quickly. Emma studied him for a moment. Then she said something completely unexpected. Come have coffee with me. Daniel blinked. I'm sorry. Emma leaned casually against the wall. Coffee? Now? No, she laughed. Obviously not now. Then she added calmly, tonight. Daniel was completely unprepared for the question. I don't really. Emma raised a hand gently. Relax. It's not a date. Daniel hesitated. Emma continued. I just want to understand something. What? She smiled mischievously. Why a perfectly normal man has been pretending I don't exist for 7 months. Lily giggled. Daniel sighed. Emma tilted her head. So? A long silence passed. Finally Daniel said, just coffee. Emma nodded. Just coffee. Daniel glanced at Lily, then back at Emma. Okay. Emma smiled like someone who had just solved a puzzle. 7 p.m. Daniel walked toward the elevator with Lily. Lily whispered excitedly, Daddy, are you going on a date? Daniel sighed. I think I just made a mistake. But deep down, for the first time in years, he wasn't completely sure he wanted to cancel. Agar a picheho to main next message may. Daniel spent the entire day trying to convince himself that the coffee invitation meant nothing. It was just coffee. Nothing more. But for some reason, the idea followed him everywhere. At work, while he stacked boxes in the warehouse. During his lunch break, when he checked the time and realized it was only 1:15 p.m. Even when he picked Lily up from daycare. Daddy? Lily said as they walked home, swinging his hand. Are we visiting Emma today? Daniel frowned slightly. How do you know about that? Lily grinned proudly. You said okay in the hallway. Daniel sighed. Children heard everything. It's just coffee, he said. Is Emma your girlfriend now? No. Why not? Daniel opened the apartment door and laughed softly. You ask too many questions. Preparing for something he didn't want to admit. By 6:30 p.m., Daniel had showered and changed into a clean shirt. Nothing fancy, just a dark blue one that didn't look like work clothes. He stared at himself in the mirror for a moment. Felt strange. He hadn't prepared for a meeting with a woman in years. "Daddy," Lily said from the couch, "why are you combing your hair again?" "I'm not. You did it 3 times." Daniel looked at the mirror. She wasn't wrong. Before he could respond, there was a gentle knock on the door. Daniel froze. Lily jumped off the couch and ran toward the door. "I'll open it." "No." Too late. The door swung open. Emma stood there holding 2 mugs and a small plate of cookies. "Hi," she said warmly. Lily's face lit up. "Cookies." Emma laughed. "I remember someone likes chocolate chip." Daniel rubbed the back of his neck. "You didn't have to bring those." Emma shrugged. "I was baking anyway." She looked at Lily. "Is it okay if I borrow your dad for coffee?" Lily crossed her arms dramatically. "For how long?" Emma pretended to think. Maybe 20 minutes." Lily nodded seriously. "Okay, but bring him back." Emma smiled. "Deal." Emma's apartment. Daniel followed Emma across the hallway.